Video we're going to be talking about how to expand two brackets. This is also sometimes called expanding the product of two binomials, but we'll talk about what that means and how to do it. First of all, what even is a binomial? Well, a binomial is just an expression that has two terms that are either added together or taken away from each other. Here are a couple of examples of binomials. So you could have something like 2x plus 3, you could have 4y plus 5z, or you could have something like 7b minus 4c. These are all binomials. Now, how about the term expanding brackets? Well, what this means is, let's say we have two brackets, and inside those brackets we have a binomial in each one, and we're going to multiply the brackets together. When we expand the brackets, it just means that we can multiply them out and write the expression in this format. We're going to look at two methods of expanding brackets. Both of them are perfectly valid. It just depends which one you prefer and which one you find easier. So the first method that we're going to look at is FOIL. Now, these four letters stand for first, outside, inside, and last, and it's a method of remembering how we actually expand and multiply out the brackets. Let's look at this example where we've got x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Look at the first term in each bracket, so that's what the F stands for, and we're going to multiply them together. So because we've got x multiplied by x, that's going to give us x squared. Next, we're going to do the O, which stands for outside. So we're going to look at the terms on the outside of this expression, which is x and 3. So if we do x multiplied by 3, that gives us 3x. So it's going to be a plus 3x onto our expression. After that, we've got I for inside. So we're looking at what's on the inside of our pair of brackets. Here we've got 2 multiplied by x, so that's going to give us plus 2x. And finally, we're looking at the L, which stands for last, so we're looking at the last term in each of the brackets. So this is going to be 2 multiplied by 3, which just gives us 6. Now, a lot of questions will ask you to expand and simplify the brackets. So we've done the expand part, and now we need to look at how we can simplify this. And the way that we do that is by collecting like terms, so putting things that are the same together. Firstly, we'll look at the x squared, and we've only got one lot of x squared, so that's just going to be x squared on its own. Then you can see we've got two terms that have an x in, so what we can do is actually put these together. So we've got 3 lots of x plus 2 lots of x, which is going to give us 5x. And then finally, the numbers, we've got just plus 6 on the end. So our answer is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6. The second method we're going to look at is the grid method. So we're going to do the same problem again, which is x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. And I'll show you how it works with this method instead. So the first thing you need to do is draw yourself a grid. And then what we're going to do is going to write each bracket next to the grid. So we're going to write the first bracket on the top of the grid. So we've got x and then plus 2. So we're splitting up the terms. And then on the side, we're going to write x and plus 3. Now, in each box of the grid, we need to multiply the terms. So in the first box, we've got x times x, which gives us x squared. In the second box, we've got x multiplied by plus 2, so we've got plus 2x. Then we've got x times plus 3, which gives us plus 3. And finally, we've got plus 3 times plus 2, which gives us plus 6. The next step now is just to write out all of these terms, and then we can look at how we can simplify what we've got. So the same as before, we've got x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. Now we'll simplify this in exactly the same way as we did before. So collecting the like terms is going to give us x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now we'll look at two examples. I'm going to use FOIL for the first one and the grid method for the second example. Feel free to pause the video and have a go yourself, and then watch the example back to see if you got it right. So I'm just writing out FOIL just to remind us what the letters stand for, and then we're going to look at this expression. So to start with, the first terms that we have is 2x multiplied by x. So that is going to give us 2x squared. Next up is O for outside, so we're going to be doing 2x multiplied by minus 5. So a plus times a minus makes a minus, 2 times 5 makes 10, and then we've got the x as well. So it's going to be minus 10x. Now we need to do the I for inside, so we've got 3 multiplied by x, and they're both positive, so it's going to be a plus. So we've got plus 3x. And then finally, we've got plus 3 multiplied by minus 5. So that's going to give us minus 15. Now again, the questions asked us to expand and simplify, so what we need to do here is put the x's together. So we're going to be left with 2x squared, and then we've got minus 10x plus 3x. So minus 10 plus 3 is going to give us minus 7x, and then it's going to be the minus 15 on the end there as well. Now let's look at a different example, and we're going to use the grid method this time. Again, pause the video, have a go at this yourself, and then come back and see if you got the answer right. So draw yourself a grid, and we're going to put each binomial on top and to the side of the grid. We've got 2x and plus 1 on the top, and then on the side we've got 9 and minus x. Don't worry about the fact that the number and the x are a different way round in this binomial. It doesn't make any difference at all to your answer. So like we did in the first question, we're going to multiply together each square of the grid. So firstly, 9 times 2x is going to make 18x. Then we've got 9 times 1, which is just 9. Then we've got minus x times 2x. Well, it's going to be negative, and then we've got 2x squared. And finally, we've got 1 times minus x, which is just going to be minus x. So the next step is always going to be exactly the same. It's just writing down what's inside each box of the grid to form an expression. And again, the question has asked us to simplify, so we have to collect the like terms. Now, the term that we have 2 of here is our x's. So we've got 18x take away 1x, which gives us 17x. And then we've got plus 9 minus 2x squared. Now, the final thing that you might want to do is rearrange it so that you've got x squared, then x, then numbers, just to make the order a bit nicer. So this would make it say minus 2x squared plus 17x plus 9. But both of these would be a correct answer because they're both completely valid, just the same thing, but written in a different order. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments which method you prefer. Do you prefer FOIL or the grid method?